I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review. This is another request for JS, who are my thoughts on Mr. Holland's Opus from 1995. And thank you so much for that. If anyone's ever interested in requesting pretty much any type of video or movie topic, whatever, you can request it directly to my PayPal or join me on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries, but if so, thank you so much. But Mr. Holland's Opus I had heard of. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I wasn't really that excited to watch this, to be honest, because it just, subject matter just isn't for me. You know, about the life of a music teacher. Not really my kind of thing. But, you know, watching it, it's not a bad movie. I mean, it's a bit long. It's like 2.5 hours long, but it's directed by Stephen Herek, which is interesting because this is a guy that directed Critters and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and then this movie, 3 completely different films, although I like those 2 more than this. And Richard Dreyfuss, he gives a solid performance, where he's a composer that wants grandiose things, but in the meanwhile, while he has a wife, and then a few years later he's got a kid coming up, he takes this teaching position at JFK High School. And pretty much his times of teaching. Helping this girl play the clarinet, who a lot of times is crying because she thinks she sucks. And he's like, no, you don't suck. Do this, this, and this. At one point, there's Terrence Howard in the film, who's a football player, and he plays the drums. Teach him how to play the drums, and it goes through a time span of about 30 or so years, from I believe the 60s to the 90s. And he's either teaching a marching band, or he finds out his son is deaf, and then he doesn't know how to communicate with his son, and then his son gets pissed at him, like, wait, you don't think I could appreciate music? It's what you do. You know, just because I'm deaf doesn't mean I can't appreciate music. And he has some hardships at home. And pretty much like almost each time period is centered on kind of one student. This girl plays the clarinet, or Terrence Howard, or later on this girl who's like a great singer, and he's like conducting for her, and then she is trying to seduce him. I guess she's 18. Seducing him, like, hey, I'm a great singer, you want to be a great conductor, composer, come with me, I'm going to try to make my big break, you can stay with me. He's tempted at first, but ultimately he doesn't. Or he's teaching the deaf like he does his song, but he does sign language for his son, so that their bonding starts to grow. And then the very finale of the film is to cut the budget. He's forced to retire, but he comes in and he sees this huge group that wish him well and celebrate with him. And I just see people being uplifted. Uplifting movie, positive movie. And it's Richard Dreyfuss is good. Other actors like Terrence Howard, the little bit that he's in, he finds out the clarinet player grew up to be I believe the governor of the place. As you tell, I didn't mind the film, but I didn't give much of a shit about it either, because I appreciate what he was trying to do. This isn't my kind of movie. I mean, I like listening to music, but I don't care much about music teachers. I don't care. I mean, school rock, that's different because it's more comedic and try to be more entertaining on that front. I get this, a teacher showcase the love of music. It's funny because when it got to this huge crowd giving him ovations at the end when he's retiring or forced to retire, I'm like, who the hell are all these kids? Because we've only seen him kind of a one-by-one basis, except when he's teaching the marching band. But then it's like centered on this one clarinet player or this one lady that wants to seduce him and fuck his brains out. Find the shark in his pants. I know it's not much review because I'm watching, I'm like, god damn, this is, okay, it's an hour left. Okay, oh fuck, this is like 40 minutes left. I don't even know why it went into all the time. I mean, I guess to showcase his whole life and all the people that he's touched. Not in that way. But I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. It's not a rant because it's not the movie's fault, it's more my fault. I'm watching, I'm going, Richard Dreyfuss is good, but I'd just rather go watch What About Bob? I'd rather go watch Jaws. I'd rather go watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I'd rather go watch Stakeout. Part of me is like, I'd rather go watch another Stakeout. This just wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't my cup of tea. Richard Dreyfuss gave a good performance. The other characters, I didn't care much about one way or another. The kids, I didn't know much about them or their personality or the characteristics, or they were in the film just enough for Dreyfuss to try to make a difference, but then moved on. So it wasn't like a consistent story where you're with the same kids to see their ups and downs. And maybe if this was a movie where it was, you show the kids when they're freshmen, and then the 4 years, so they're graduating from high school, and then maybe after the 4 years, oh, he's gotta be forced to retire, and then we've seen the same group of kids. But this one, when you get to the finale, who the fuck are all these kids? Okay, that girl played the clarinet. Terrence Howard, his character died in Vietnam, so he's not gonna be there. Okay, he inspired all these kids because he watched from the stands, or once in a while you saw them in class. There's one kid that he gave detention to, and then brought him to the funeral of Terrence Howard's character, saying, you know, he was one of my classmates and blah blah blah. And then you saw him at the end, but I don't know. It just wasn't my cup of tea, guys. This is why I don't really go review films like this, because I know I would not be good at it, and this isn't in my wheelhouse. But I'm doing this because this is one of the Patreon requests, and he wanted my thoughts on this, and I'm sorry, JS. I don't know. Well, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad directed film. It's not a bad constructed film. It's not like it has bad acting or piss poor storytelling. Sometimes there are movies that just, I see that this is a well-made movie. This just isn't my kind of movie. Sometimes that's how it is. And how do you review that? You can't get mad at a movie because it's not what you want it to be when it's not for your crowd. But then people go, well, you only like a certain specific movie. Yes, I love action and horror and sci-fi. Those are my favorite genres. But you know what? I also enjoy The Shawshank Redemption. I liked La Bamba with Lou Diamond Phillips. If I go through my YouTube, let's just do that right now, if it don't freeze. Just random. Let me go to my videos. Yes, I like action. Yes, I'm sorry. Those are my favorite genres. God forbid I tend to go more towards my favorite genres. There's also plenty of comedies I enjoy. And again, if this loads up, I stop being slow. That's okay. Take your time. I like The Hand That Rots the Cradle. I liked Unlawful Entry. Going more, yeah, okay, there's action films of Lives to Kill, One Cut of the Deads. Could be construed as horror, but it's more about the love of making films. But I liked Ali with Will Smith. I liked, let's see. Truth, a lot of these are action horror. Okay, Copycat, well, that's a thrill. American History X, I liked. I talked about how I liked American History X. Okay, those are the action films. Let's see. That's comedies. Serpico. I enjoyed Serpico. With Al Pacino. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Well, that's more a family film. Journey of Natty Dan. That's more of a family film. I enjoyed those two. Criteria Part 2. Let's see. Phenomenon. I enjoyed Phenomenon with John Travolta. Reviewed that 2 weeks ago. Quite enjoyed Phenomenon. Thought it was a heartfelt movie. The ending, I would have done stuff differently, but I did like Phenomenon. The Terminal. Tom Hanks. I liked it. Had some issues with the pacings, things like that, but overall, I did like The Terminal. About Schmidt. Didn't mind About Schmidt, mainly for Jack Nicholson's performance. Definitely more subdued Jack Nicholson performance, which was interesting to watch. See, The Butterfly Effect, that's a thriller. Scarface, I love that film. Comedies. Blue Collar, didn't mind that film. Lean on Me. That's a film about a school. I got more out of Lean on Me than this movie. So Lean on Me, I enjoyed. I knew I was, okay. The Upside. That's more of a drama. Didn't mind it for what it was. Did not mind it for what it was. But I'll end it there, but yeah, Lean on Me I enjoyed. Shawshank Redemption I enjoy. I keep mentioning that that's one of my favorites, dramatic-wise, of movies. Crash, a lot of people hated Crash. I didn't mind Crash from 2004, 2000, around there, 2005, somewhere around there. But this, okay, movies about teachers. I liked Dead Poets Society. I liked that more than this. I liked Lean on Me more than this. Hell, I liked High School High more than this. I mean, whether it's because of the music thing, whether it's because of the extremely long running time, which I think is way too long, maybe because it tried to go to so many years that it couldn't focus on this too much or this too much because it's trying to span 30 some years of timeline. I just wasn't for me. Sorry. So thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys later. Bye bye.